Oh boy. Okay. Um. Oh, this. I think I know where we are. Hey there. So our screaming spider lady sort of has a name now. If you haven't been paying attention, there's a reason that her and Laura look identical. There we are.
Everything I have, everything I am, has been taken from me since the accident by those who seek to consume me. They are in the darkness, with only the phantoms of my mind to comfort me, to taunt me. I nearly lost myself completely. But then I saw her. Deep down I know she was only an apparition. But I would regain my face. Recover what was taken from me. Restore her, my beloved sister, Laura.
There we have it. Journal of Sebastian Castellanos, February 27th, 2012. I've watched friends and family die before, part of the job that I've taken. It's never easy, but nothing can compare to losing your own child. I'd die a million times over to prevent it, but I can't. I felt so helpless when they lowered that tiny coffin into the ground. The pain is unbearable. I know I shouldn't, but drinking is the only thing that's let me sleep for the last few weeks. I'm worried about Myra. This has been extremely hard on her, and her way of handling it has been unnerving. She wants to be alone, has taken to staying up all night, says she's doing work to keep her mind off of the tragedy, but she seems to be closing herself off to the world. I know what tends to happen when couples lose a child, and I hope that we're strong enough to avoid it. Of course, he's talking about they usually split up.
Have you forgotten something?
Home destroyed by fire. Daughter of police officer among victims. The body of Lily Castellanos, 5, and baby Juanita Flores, 56, were found in the charred home. Both of the child's parents are police officers with the Crimson City Police Department and were on duty at the time of the fire. Police are investigating as a possible arson. So previously they had said it was something to do with faulty electrical work. And who's our new one? Missing Patrick Higgins, lawyer for the Victoriano family. Last seen meeting with a man believed to be a client. So, were you a victim of Ruvik himself? Oh, what's our health actually at? Might leave it there for now. Okay, I think we got all the upper cabinets. We already started this one in accident. Let's go here. I don't remember exactly what's next, but I have a pretty good idea. That or I'm like... I might be mixing two chapters in my mind, but... I think I know what's next. Is this still locked? That was so weird. I don't know why that was locked. I'm just checking around for supplies, guy. I don't remember if there's much to be had. Okay, so there is a potential key up ahead. There are some that will say you need to do this in New Game Plus. I'm pretty sure I remember doing this in my first playthrough. Not my first playthrough, but like in just a new game. I could be wrong though, so I'm not entirely sure on how that is going to work out. But essentially, we're about to go into, as you can imagine, somewhat of a boss fight, but it's more or less a chase. If you got the right tools, I do believe you can take her out. Kind of like if you go back to the chapter where we confronted the Keeper, chapter 7. Yeah, so if you go back to chapter 7, I was trying to defeat the Keeper in one go, and I wasn't able to. I didn't have the supplies. That's another situation where New Game Plus can make that a lot easier. Maybe when I'm done, maybe we'll do a New Game Plus just to see that stuff. I know there's one collectible we definitely have to go to New Game Plus for, but I think you can get them all pretty much in one playthrough if I'm not mistaken. For the most part, the other one we need to get is like a really early unlock, so it's not a bad one to go through. But if we can't get this, we may need to play back to this part if we really want to get that key. But I'm going to see if I can try to get it, and if not, we'll do it in New Game Plus. I didn't realize you could actually just catch a witch up there. Oops. Okay, so the big trick with her is, remember, we have these fire bolts, so we can stop her dead in her tracks like that and deal some damage to her. But this is essentially a run. You know, we're just trying to get away from her. Okay, you want the gel, don't worry about it, you don't need it. You're probably going to be frustrated enough on your first round with this. So this part, I don't know. I don't know if it's like this for everybody, but I know a lot of people tend to struggle with this section. Myself included. See, they even give you bolts. We have enough parts to craft these, and I'm hoping we can use them to our advantage at the end. I'm not confident in it, but if I'm not mistaken, we don't actually need to get all the keys in the game to get the trophy. Because I think there's more than enough to actually empty all the lockers. That's mostly for items and stuff. I don't think that we actually need to get all of them, but like I said, we might go back and do a New Game Plus just to do them all anyway, so we'll see. So watch how they turn off. You'll notice the left and right sides are kind of exchanging gas lines as it goes down to the bottom. And then the top ones all turn off equally at the same time. That's going to be kind of important, so keep that in mind. Also keep in mind you can shoot these. Probably should have collected that. Okay, should have done this right away. I don't know why they give you health, like, she's a one-hit kill. What do you really want me to do here? Uh-oh, she turned back, didn't she? I just want to slow her down a little bit. We can move forward. Run. Oh my god, I forgot about that. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I got super lucky there. Crap. Crap. Keep your distance otherwise. close. Too close. Too close. Get to the furnace. Really want to hit that. Turn it off. Otherwise you will roast to death. Oh boy. Oh no! don't think this is gonna work. One more try. Alright, we tried.
Who do you think you are? I know who you are. Seb. I know what you crave, what you fear. Will you be able to live with yourself knowing what I'm gonna make you do? Poor little Joseph couldn't. Too bad they dragged you into this. But either way, you're mine. To do with as I please.
Okay. I noticed the bodies were disappearing as we kept burning her because she kept spawning from the same spots. I think I could have done that if I had more parts. And I may have just wasted through all my parts, but you know, it's fine. What else is new? But I think I could have pulled that off if we had more. But again, I don't think that really matters when it comes to New Game Plus and the trophy, because I don't remember if the keys matter all that much other than opening all the boxes.
Shit, back here again.
Yeah. Okay, looks like we're good up on everything, except for, of course, bolts. I'll live with my, you know, transgressions of trying to do that against my better judgment. Map fragments 20. Right. So, why are we back here exactly?
Doc, what the hell do you think you're doing?
Trying to save us.
Really? Because it looks like you're making another monster to me.
I don't have time for this, Detective.
Neither do I.
Leslie has been here before, and made it back. He survived being linked to Ruvik, the only patient ever as far as I know.
Wonderful. What does that have to do with any of this?
He's our way out, Detective. Our only way back.
That sound!
No, it's working. Oh, thank God it's working.
Leslie, are you all right?
It should have. Why didn't it? That's it. That's why.
Doctor, run!
He wants the same thing as us. He wants out!
Okay then. Not sure how exactly that how he interpreted that, but okay.
Hey! I know you're out there. Listen to me, goddammit.
Ruvik must be really pissed now. Breaking a STEM terminal? Never thought he'd go that far.
Wait, STEM?
Oh, he must be close if he's severing ties with the past. All he has left is his connection to the present. The full STEM in the hospital.
Hospital? Beacon Mental Hospital?
That's where he'll be. Waiting for him. If somebody doesn't get there first, there'll be no way out for anyone!
Okay, well that answers some questions, I guess. Some... Ooh.
You have an odor of blood about you.
Irregularities at hospital. Investigation uncovers irregularities at mental hospital. Situation more complex than thought. Internal audit at Beacon Mental Hospital suggests patients missing. Chief of Staff Marcelo Jimenez cites clerical errors. Missing Dr. Marcelo Jimenez, Chief of Staff of Beacon Mental Hospital. Last seen in his office where he made a number of telephone calls. So I don't think there was anything else, because I think we already used our keys. Like I said, the keys shouldn't matter in the end as far as I know, because I think there's extras. But, I'll double check on that. So if you want to get that last key, all you have to do is defeat Laura in that last room, which is what I was trying to do. And then, you don't get pushed, basically, or chased into the elevator. And from there, you can essentially just walk around the elevator, and there's some stuff behind it, including the key, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, I'll probably put a cut in there, but I just essentially went back in to load up on some stuff. And of course, one of them happens to be this. I didn't mean to grab that one. That was stupid. taking a guess what we're going to be going up against next? I'm not quite sure how he interpreted that, but the comment by the other guy is really interesting, and I'll talk about that more once we're done here.
God damn it!
Get to that room back here. That's not good, that's not good, that's not good. He's in a one hit kill mode right now. Oh, that's what I wanted. Okay, so that went pretty smooth, all things considered. The name of that thing, I believe, is Amalgam Alpha. And again, I'm not quite sure how that spells out what Rubik's plans were that he wants to leave. Or was it... Actually, maybe I'm not looking at the obvious close enough there. Alright, what do we got? Oh, these again. Oh, I didn't even use them. Yeah, the game's telling me to use them. Lapis too. This is one of the reasons I said that it's not bad to up your stock on things and put more into like weapon capacity, even though I haven't been doing that, because they do load you up here and there, and it's nice to take advantage of it when you can. right, that was the end of chapter 10. To recap, we continued off where we previously left, kind of in the basement of the Victoriano estate, and we progressed through this facility with a bunch of traps in it, and we got to see some dialogue between Jimenez and Ruvik, and it sounded like Jimenez was starting to highly disapprove of what he was doing. Because he said he had read about the traps that these people were in, and we know from stuff that we've read already and stuff that we've read here that Jimenez was the one giving him people, essentially, is what it has been heavily implied. So these missing people, I would assume, are largely who Jimenez is handing over to Ruvik. That's what I've been assuming. Or people that happen to be caught up in this. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later because I don't want to get too far ahead of where we are. But I think there's a bit of both mixed in there because some of those names are not very clear to us. And I'll comment on that more later. But anyways, these people that have been missing some we know have been found because we know that they found bodies that have been operated on. That was something that came up early on. And now they're talking about bodies being found in traps. So if you go back to the previous chapter, Ruvik was talking about stimulating different parts of the brain, and I think fear was one of them. That was a big part of it, which of course, we've been experiencing a whole lot of that if you really think about the stuff we've been running into. But there were a few others that he was looking into, and I think he was trying to get a combination of those emotions because he was talking about being able to mold people in a way, break them down and remold them. I don't know what exactly he was going for with that, but we got a little bit more information here because we got a little bit more intel from the guy in the cell next to us. When we were in the room with Jimenez just a while ago, when he had his revelation, like I said, wasn't entirely sure where he was coming to that. He sees this giant creature and all of a sudden he knows what's going on. But before he did that, and I think I might have an idea of how that's working out, but before he did that, notice when he was kind of tuning the frequencies, kind of trying to get them to what's the word for it? I think he was trying to get them essentially to align is what he was doing, but I don't know if he was going for like a resonance thing or what, but he was essentially, if you look at the room, it went from like this industrial looking room, and we've seen that room before. If you recall, there's been a couple of moments I think where we had to pull plugs out of the back of the heads of some of the haunted, and they fell out of these bathtubs, very similar to the one we saw Joseph in and the one we just saw Leslie in. And so Jimenez had Leslie hooked up to this thing, and when he was doing the frequency tuning, we started to see the room change into a much more pristine room. And then we go forward and talk to this guy that we've been hearing next to our cell, and he mentions the hospital again, as if like this room we keep seeing is in the hospital. So I think that's what we were seeing. We know that our minds are connected, so we're not quite we don't really know where we are, so to speak. Like I said early on, you could probably, it's either got to be the hospital or somewhere else where that setup was, or somewhere else where they would have moved us. I don't know. It doesn't, like I said, the way that we're like phase shifting to different realities is clearly not happening in real life. It's happening in our minds, and they've already talked about how our minds are connected. So, we're probably in one of those pods or something like that. It's kind of where I'm going with that thought process. Or we have to get to one of those pods in order to get out. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But when we saw the room shift, that's what we saw was like the pristine version of it. So I'm assuming that's in the hospital, in Beacon Mental Hospital. And of course, we're not there anymore. We're now in a different location because we were just in a parking garage. And going back to what he was saying, how he kind of figured out what Ruvik wants, that he wants to leave. Then the guy commented on him breaking a stem terminal. Maybe that was the revelation, that the Amalgam Alpha was breaking the terminal. Maybe that's what he was going for. He wants to leave, and he wants Leslie, clearly seems to be the target here, because the doctor was working on Leslie, and Leslie was like the first one to kind of have any influence over what's been going on if you go back to the beginning. That seems to be the common trend here. So, because I mean, otherwise, why would the doctor be you know, he was using some kind of frequency tuner, or trying to do something to kind of pull us out of this phase shifted reality into something that was a little bit different, and Leslie was at the core of it. So, some interesting stuff that's been thrown at us there. Next time we'll obviously be going on to chapter 11 and see where this takes us next. But who knows? We're starting to get the connections here, but I don't know if they've really explained. I don't know if they've really explained yet where Ruvik and Jimenez research connects to what he wants, because it's clear that he wants his sister from what they've been showing us. That's what he's trying to reconnect with. So how does... I don't know. I guess maybe there's more we're not seeing quite yet. Anyways, with that being said, let us close things out for this one. Thank you all for joining, and I will see you all later.